Hello, welcome to Flory Models Daily Vlog. Here we are on the 20th of April 2016 and Wednesday, normally my day of catching up and doing various bits and pieces, but to be honest I've been pushing on very nicely with the Halifax. So we've been going through some motions and I'll be honest with you, we've had some big cock-ups, we've had some things go wrong. To be honest, I've had an SD card fail on me because I formatted it with all the stuff on it and it's busy now trying to recover it all, and for some reason it won't recover it from the disk thing that we've got that does all of that. So yeah, we're having quite a busy day. Productive, and we're learning a few things about painting and everything else like that. So this particular one, for instance, we've done something completely different on here than what we normally do. You might be able to see if I have got a card in the top, which we do. Amazingly, if we move that, you might be able to see we've got the camo work done. Now we said we've done hard edge camo, and on this particular part which you're going to get up today, we talk about sanding it and various things. So actually it might not be tonight's part, it will be the next part which will be up with you probably Monday or Tuesday next week. But what we've actually done here to clean it up and just to slightly feather this in, we've actually been hitting it with a sanding stick. Now I know what you might be thinking, like, God be careful and all the rest of it, you're going to go through it, but so far so good, no real problems. And like, for instance, I don't know if you can see it, but we've got overspray over the top part here from the black from the underside. So what I'm going to do is sand through it, okay? So you can go through, okay, down into the lighter stuff down below, as long as you're careful. Like here, we're just going down into the one there. We don't want to go right the way through, although it's got yellow. But basically what we did, we've got the sanding sponge here, as I said, they're basically self-cleaning, and to get rid of the little bit of bleed through we've got here, we've been actually sanding the paint. Now this is a twofold situation. I've already been around here once and I don't want to overdo it, but basically what it'll do is it slightly feathers in the edge of your paintwork. Obviously it will smooth it out and all the rest of it, okay, but I just want to be a little bit careful. But also you might notice down here you can do some nice effects with textures and various things as you're making your way through, right the way over your paintwork, but you come down through your spine, and just by lightly sanding it, it'll feather the edges and it'll give you a little bit of three-dimensional look to your paintwork, okay? And fear not, that's all good, because all you need is trusty water, okay? So we're just coming in, and to be honest this is just tap water on here, and then just to dampen this up, and this will take off the dust from the sanding that you've just done, okay, just like so. All right, and it works on the underside as well. So what you can actually do is use the texture that you've put in. Now to be honest, this one's been multi-layered. We've gone in here, it had the primer down first, then we came in with which was XF, let me just make sure, right, 85, okay, because it's that nice rubber black that I like all over this one. Then we actually came in with XF17 dark blue, which basically looks like black, and that's what gives it this more sort of grey look. It's the blue, not anything else. So we haven't been anywhere with, you know, the usual way of lightening up paint and everything else. But what you can do is, once you've gone in, you can take a sander. Now to be honest, this is quite a coarse one, but as I said, using the light techniques, we can come in and sand areas to give texture. Okay, now hopefully this camera will drop in just a little bit. Sorry, it's not exactly playing pool today, but you might be able to see you get that texture come through on there. But you can go through and very lightly sand everywhere to give you a little bit of texture if you wanted to put it in. Okay, and you can change the sheen. You might notice it's getting quite shiny up here now. See how it comes through? All right, so you might think, okay, well look, let's just pick a panel. So what we could actually do is grab a skinny sponge, and to be honest, this is a brand new one, so ideally you would want it to be a little bit more worn. So what I'm going to do, I'll just switch to a polisher, because it's a little bit worn on this one, but you can actually then come in perhaps and start to sand. Okay, and literally put different textures into your model and everything else, and this is the sandy side, okay? But if you look down on the back here, when you've got ribbing textures, things like that, you can literally just rub these over. And as you can see, okay, actually in the light, it's not showing up to you on camera. Let's just give it a good old go with this so you can see properly. But it's actually sanding into the texture, and you can slightly go through just to bring it all together. It's going to have washes it on this and all the rest of it, but literally just to go in there very lightly, okay, just to change the textures on the tails and put them in and everything else like that. And that is what we've been doing, to be honest, a lot with this particular model. We've been going round over it, we've been sanding over it, and absolutely everything. We can unmask it as well, hopefully. Now I've got, it should be dry, okay, but generally I have to say it's one of those things. I've deliberately set myself quite a hard task doing this particular one. I didn't want to take the easy route. It's paint week after all. Okay, so what we've done really is pick all the nasty jobs and everything you don't technically do with it and try to fix the problems. Okay, so to be honest with this one, we had the AK paints, never really liked them, never really got on with them, alright, but as you can see, it's come out really, really well, no problem at all. The masking tape was a bit of a flop, if I'm honest. We explained fully about that, what went wrong, why it went wrong and everything else like that. But again, we've managed to recover it, and as I say everywhere, you basically work the problem, okay? So it's not a problem anymore, we can just go through. Things should be drying over here, so we have the turrets, so we can put the front one on now, we can pop the top one back in, okay. And I'm not sure if this one's dry enough to touch, because to be honest it was only done about 10 minutes ago. Should be alright. If I get it in, there we go, we're in. Alright, so there we go, we are starting to look in the basic stages. Now for this one, all we've done, you might be able to see it, we've faded down the paint, we've just made it in, we've done this bluing type of technique underneath just to make it look worn and everything else. The next thing we're going to be doing is a little bit more post shading right the way over this one. So we're going to be coming in with greys, quite aggressive greys to be honest, because then it's going to have washes which are going to be quite dark, which will knock it all back down as we make our way through. But generally, as I say, with this particular one, I just wanted to do everything the hard way. Yes, we could have taken the easy route with this one. Yes, we know that, for instance, the paint of choice, if you like, for this is a funny one for me, but I quite like the Atari one. It does work very well, but we could have gone Tamiya, but we've decided to really have a go with it. So that is the thing with it, pushing your limits, trying something new. Normally I would advise doing it on a buster, not on a build, but for this particular one we thought, what the hell, we'll just give it a whirl and work our way through with it. But I'm really happy with the way it's coming out, and we're basically on par now with the airliner as well. So you know, between both of them, we should really have some fun and games with this one. But the next part of this one going up, we talk about the masking. You're going to see the problems we have with it, putting the green coat on, fading it and everything else before we make our way down with the black coat, which to be honest I recorded, but the audio hasn't come out, so we're going to have to play with it a little bit on a different camera, so there might be some funny audio as you notice the way with the builds. But generally, as I say, it's something a little bit different, and this black work, we've got loads to do on this yet. We're going to be making it really blend in, really look weathered, very subtle chipping in there as well I want to do, and obviously the staining and everything else like that is going to work itself right the way over the aircraft just to knock it all back and give it that sort of worn look and everything else. Tomorrow is going to be review day, so I've got a couple more tools for you. I've had this stuff now for 2 weeks or so, but this is the rocket card glue that everybody's talking about on the forum. I've got it, I haven't used it, I haven't even opened it yet or anything else, but what I'm going to have a go, and I'll do it on here, is we're going to just try some windows with it. We're going to try a little bit of, you know, normal canopy glass work, see how that works with it, see, put it on some clear stuff, see if it actually, you know, fogs or anything else, and we've got some other bits and pieces we can glue with this one. So all the general stuff that I use crystal clear with, we're going to have a go with that and see exactly how that comes up. The big thing you notice, not sound thin compared to, you know, obviously crystal clear and your normal PVA glues. The other thing, because obviously it's paint week, we're going to be talking about paintbrushes. So I got a selection of paintbrushes in. To be honest, not the expensive ones. We have got a few expensive ones these days, but generally these are cheap budget ones that aren't going to break the bank and hopefully will give you sort of, you know, good results. But we're going to give them on test. We're going to have a play. Some of them I've had before, so I can give you an honest opinion with them. Other ones, to be honest, it's you know, they are a bit cheap and nasty, but we've got them all there and you can have a look at it through there. Okay, so, and we're going to look at hand painting as well, which is something we covered, I know, with little Ben years ago, well, a couple of years ago now, but he's got his stuff up. We're still going to link to that, but I'm going to show you a couple of little techniques I do for hand painting and doing fine details, dry brushing with brushes and things like that. So we'll cover with all that with you tomorrow. So there we go, part 5 of the Halifax is up on the site now. Go ahead and watch that one. As I said, we're on a bit of a roll with it all now and it's all coming together quickly, but I'm covering in detail the paint work because obviously it's being paint week. So actually what you might end up with is another part on Friday, all right? So we might push through a little bit with Halifax on the Friday because there's a lot of paint to go through, there's a lot of paint sections. We're talking about it quite in detail and I want to show you all about how I'm going to do the black work, which you can do on camo as well. You just put it everywhere and it'll work. Trust me, it's fine. So there we go, that's it for today. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you all tomorrow.